So I'm going to do a psychic reading about Michael B. Jordan. So the initial image I get is of him, like there's this like squared off piece of land that is kind of beige, like it's, well, like earth. Can look if there's sun on it and stuff. Anyway, so like there's it's like he's preparing to do some kind of project and he's seeing everything like as an overview and he's gonna plan it out perfectly and like nothing is amiss, you know. He's very particular about like methodical about like his process, I guess. And and I like that kind of quiet, like that calm, that intention, the perfectionism. Not perfectionism in an annoying way, but like this is, you know, this is why he's so good at what he does, is because he does a good job that you could call perfect, or you know what I mean. It's that kind of perfection. It's just like delivering the goods kind of thing. And but there's work involved in doing that and being like very careful with his planning and everything. So like people aren't just gonna throw whatever project at him. Like it's got to be like the best kind of thing. And good for him for being able to distinguish or even care. And I feel like he has a similar calm in his relationships, but like, you know, good luck finding another person in the world who's as like careful and considerate as yourself. Like if you're that meticulous about like how you live and what you deliver and stuff like that. So I feel like his partner can sometimes like be argumentative or like worried about stuff they don't need to be worried about. Because his energy doesn't feel random like at all. But like because he's popular and other, you know, everyone and their grandma like wants to date him or whatever. So like it's sort of like the partner's more reacting to that than him, and it's like it'd be good if they could just focus and be like in the zone, I guess, with him. Having the intention of like, let's make this fun for both of us on a daily basis. Like knowing that there's not a problem. Okay. So, and I feel like, you know, there's a certain amount of like him not being controlling in that manner where it's like if this person can't deal, it's like it's out of his hands kind of thing. Like I don't know if he's like together with someone or not, but like if you were to be with him, if you like sort of couldn't handle it or like spiraled and got jealous or whatever, like he's not gonna say like, oh, I'm responsible. It's like, no, that's your baggage that you brought to the table. And it's like, here I am providing you with like a beautiful relationship, like my vibe, my home is nice. And it's like, if for some reason you can't handle it, like it's not on him, and he's like ready to have a nice life like the following day and the following day, you know, like regardless. And it doesn't mean he doesn't care, but it's like not his job. Like, you know, like I know like as a healer, like in the past I've taken on like my clients' burdens or like friends or whoever, like family, and like spent a lot of energy trying to like heal them or like give them insight or whatever. And it's like at the end of the day, people are aware they're at, and like they can, it's kind of like this, it's like there's lots of Bibles. I mean, granted, like different versions of the Bible are better than others, you know. Like I like the older, the more further back in time you go, like the better they tend to be, I think. But because there's not all that editing and simplification and stuff, and misogyny that was like slipped in, you know. But anyway, where was I? Like there's all this good information about like how to live or whatever is around, but it's like, do you pick it up? Like, do you make use of it? Whatever. Sorry, my dog is at this time of night. Like, my dog gets kind of hyper. So you'll hear him barking. Yeah, so it's kind of like people live at their own pace, and he's living. It's like, okay, Dr. Disco, shush, come here. Anyway, so that didn't work. I have to find something that would interest him. Maybe I'll just pause for a sec. So it's like people learn at their own pace, and you can't like drag your vibe down. You don't like dumb down your like purpose in life just because like other people are not connected with their purpose in life. And it's kind of like yeah, so he's not gonna like stop being awesome because people around him don't want to be awesome, but like you have to date somebody, so it's that kind of thing. Like, you know, do your best, and if people either match up with you for a time or for a long time or not at all, and it's like he can't like put all his energy into like stressing about that. It's my feeling about that. Okay. I feel like if he's like a producer at all, like he's doing like one project or not a lot of projects that he's producing, but they're like very like impactful, and they have a strong message that's like, economical in terms of like the aggression of like just getting that message in there, but it's like it's an important message, but maybe the delivery is done with, maybe there's like a violent theme or something like that, like it's, it has that shock value or something. I don't usually watch like violent movies, so that maybe that's a personal feeling I'm getting thinking about this, how the movie is or something. But like if I watch Lord of the Rings or something, I'll skip over the fight scenes and just get to the forest elf part. I'm not that interested in fights and stuff. Maybe he's in like fighting movies. Okay. I don't know if he's a dad or anything, but like if, let's say he's a dad, I don't do any research before I do these readings. But like, let's say he's a dad. He's loving to them, but he's busy, and like maybe there's the people who are in charge, like nannies or wife or like mother of the children, whatever, aren't doing like the world's greatest job. I feel like you know how like, before cell phones were like everywhere, before the smartphone, like you wouldn't see like nannies on the phone at the park. Like they'd be playing with the kid, and then like almost overnight, like all the nannies had cell phones in the park, and it's like the kids just like sitting motionless on the swing or like stuff like that. So that's the kind of vibe where I just feel like the adults around his kids, if he has any, are not paying the attention they're like telling him they're paying the kids, and then like the result is like the kids aren't getting like the world's greatest childhood out of it. So like I hope that things improve in that department, and like they can get better nannies, or like he can maybe rationalize taking like, I mean, I suppose with COVID and stuff he would have taken a bunch of time off, if he has kids, but like that kind of thing where there's like a 2-month stretch of like not looking for new roles, like not doing other kind of home office work, whatever, even if he's at home, but just like 100% focusing on the kids would be really great for them. Like, there's no, like, oh, daddy's gonna go in the office for 3 hours and take some phone calls. Like, everyone gets the memo that he's not to be disturbed for, like, two to 3 months. And it's just, like, kid time, you know. That would be, like, a good idea, I feel. And then that would give him an opportunity to really get to know, like, what's going on with them and, like, who's in charge of the kid, if he has kids at all. But, like, let's, because I'm picking it up, like, maybe he has, like, 1 or 2 kids or something. If not, then maybe there's important children in his life, like he's an uncle or something like that. Okay, my dog wants to get up. Okay, come here. Alright, what else we got here? I feel like some actresses like want to get in movies with him because they like have an eye for like, oh, I want to be in a relationship with him or be close to him like romantically. But like, I don't feel like he's like a sucker like that, like how like Brad Pitt might be, or like people who, what are other actors that like fall in love on set or whatever, like Johnny Depp, right? Anyway, like it happens, whatever. And anyway, I feel like don't do that. It's like I don't think I don't think he mixes work and pleasure in that way. He's, like I said with the original picture like that I got of him, like being very careful about his work and planning and stuff. Like, he's not gonna let a bunch of random stuff just throw a wrench in his life. Okay, what else about him? There's a lot of pressure on him to do this or that project. Like, people are really almost bothering him, whether this is like executives or people around him. I feel like they're people like quote unquote above him, so like who get him work, or studio heads or like stuff like that. So I feel like they're like aggressively getting in his space about projects and stuff, but because he's so careful about things, he's not going to pick every project, obviously. So it's annoying to have all that pressure. At the same time, I feel like the industry requires him to have like, quote unquote personal relationships, or like some of these studio heads would only want to like talk directly to him instead of his like helper. So there's a certain amount of him having to take every phone call and like, like it's not that fun. There's this really nice energy around like some kind of foundation or something he wants to create, but it feels really small right now, and then like maybe it's just an idea form, or if he started it then great, but it feels kind of like, helping the youth in some way. Helping the youth like become like quickly ascend in business, like go from like zero to like top executive type of training. That's like there's, if they're teaching kids, it's like a small group of kids, like at a time. Okay, like mentoring, and also like getting hired, like the people that do well work for his business or something like that. Like, if he's not doing that now, like that's something that I'm seeing like he could do, and it would be like very impactful. Yeah, and I see like 1, 2, or 3 like people from that program really like being top people in Hollywood as a result. And like a car honked at the same time and said that, so It's like a high five. Okay. Michael B. Jordan. There's a certain amount of like, I'm not gonna say like melancholy or like the not like, like we all went through it with COVID and stuff, but like there's some, I don't know if it's because there's a war going on right now and I'm like connecting with his energy, but um it's just some sadness that he feels, and it's like, and like it's a like having a successful career is kind of like running a marathon, and it's like you can feel tired at points during the marathon, but you're going to keep going, in a gentler way than like a David Goggins video where he's not like keeping going and talking to the camera, like he's just going to quietly keep going. um but it's like, I admire David Goggins for his like focus and energy and perseverance and stuff. Um, okay, and then oh my god. I feel like if he's not in working on this project now, or like I'm just picking up some project that's like so properly representing women, some movie. There's like three women or something, and it's just so like respectful, like like accurate, and not just, how like some people make movies about like tragedies and it's like, oh, that's really accurate, but it's like it doesn't feel like a tragedy. It feels just like inspiring, and not inspiring in like a far-fetched way, but just like it's just right, and it's like, yeah, that's really how women can be just great and like strong, but not having to show like any trauma or anything like that, but just like, because like women are powerful, and there's like ancient cultures where women were in charge and guys just like did stuff, and like women had multiple husbands and guys didn't, and like what, stuff like that. So it's like sort of tapping into that like essential natural power that women have, and like some movie like that he's in where he plays a role and is like okay with, and like just being awesome in this this movie I want to see now, like where these women are unapologetically like naturally in their own power, and it's good or something like that. So that's, and it feels groundbreaking in that sense, because like a lot of the what coming out of Hollywood is like annoying like for being whatever, just bad. Okay, because like not every woman's like crying over some guy or whatever they have depicting. Like not every woman is like a victim of violence, or like, like, yes, that occurs, but like let's see something positive portrayed. Is what I feel like. People need to take a breather from all of that stress and see like some people actually have a good day, and like let's see that represented, kind of thing. So it's that kind of thing. It's not just a feel good movie, but it's just like a higher level, like, yes, that kind of thing. All right, so there's that, and like he plays a key role in like getting that like green lit, or like him joining the movie helps it become real. So I don't know if he's like being approached by a writer who like has this story, and he's like, you know what, I'm in because it matters to me, and like women are great and whatever, something like that. I feel like there's pressure because he's like wealthy from his career for him to buy like stupid like expensive stuff for, I don't know if he's dating somebody, or it's just like that person shouldn't stress about having like status designer clothing or bags or whatever. Isn't like having an awesome life like good enough? So that kind of like, I don't feel that he's super into like people who like need to have that like head to toe designer look or like that expensive bag, because like sometimes having a bag that costs the same as like a down payment on a house like can put you in like danger. Like it's expensive, you know. It's like carrying a suitcase full of money, like you know what I mean. So it's like, why? um so I kind of feel like he's not super materialistic in that way. And it would be nice if his partner or whoever like would stop asking for stuff. Um, it's kind of like the light and the darkness kind of thing. Like, it's hard to, in a world where many people have low standards or are like not spiritual in a way that like makes them more loving. Like I don't like, everybody has a different interpretation of like what spiritual means. But I'm just talking about like, are you connected with like the unconditional love that is like permeating the universe and yourself 24/7 kind of thing? So people who are like disconnected from that can be acting out in ways that are just like off the path, like off the. I feel like Michael B. Jordan's like very conscientious about like staying positive, but like you can't control everybody around you, and I feel like other people are like either on or on the path for like 5 minutes and then off for like 2 hours, and then you know what I mean, like they're not consistent. So it can be just like again, like that song lyric by Elton John, like "Candle in the Wind" or whatever. So it's like that's really, that's really not like what I want to say, but like, you know what I mean. Like, if we stick with the it's making me tear up. All right, like, like a candle in the wind is fragile because like the wind can blow it out at any moment, but like you're just like, I'm gonna try to keep burning bright in this darkness. Anyway, so it's like a fragile enterprise, like just trying to make it through life sometimes, like staying positive despite like literally everybody else being negative, and not understanding the truth of reality, which is that we're like surrounded by unconditional love all the time, but that we, choosing to believe these like distortions of that, I guess. Anyway, so I feel like like Michael B. Jordan knows some, like, I don't know if he studied martial arts or whatever, but he sort of understands some of this stuff, or like maybe he understands like chi and like what, energy and all that stuff. But like you can't expect like not everyone's in the same dojo as you, like it's like like that. So I feel like it's hard to be like, it's like lonely at the top, or like it's hard to be like vibing so high when not everybody else is like vibing that high. But just like carry on, because like what's the alternative? Like being like not great. It doesn't feel good, so it's like better to be like lonely and awesome or something like that. Okay, so I'll just try to pick up one more thing and wrap it up. in general. Seems like a cool guy. But I do feel like he has these pressures on him. He has like friends who like live dangerously, like or just are have aspects to their lives that are like I don't think it like touches him personally, like in his home or like in his business or something. But just there's people out there who are like him. Everybody likes him, but there's some people who have like sort of sketchy stuff going on in their lives, and like it's sort of a tightrope, like hanging out but not getting too into their stuff, or just like you don't want to step on anybody's toes there. Uh, like I don't know. It feels like that movie like Mulholland Drive that David Lynch made. It feels like kind of like that. Like sometimes Hollywood can seem like exciting and glamorous, but like there's a dark side. Like it's that kind of thing where because not everybody's like being like loving and like angelic, like there's this side to it where there's people in power who are behaving badly. I mean, you can't really avoid them if you're making movies at a top level, but you want to like keep your life pure. So it's like this kind of like this feeling. And all you can do is like an archer, aim carefully, and it's like when you release an arrow, like you you stretch the bow, you aim, like you let all the air out of your lungs, like so that your breathing doesn't like make it get off target or whatever, and you just at some point you just release. It's like a very conscientious thing. It's like no matter what, I'm gonna meet my target. So like that's kind of the vibe I get from him. So that was an enjoyable read. If anyone has like a suggestion of a celebrity reading, why am I spacing out? I feel like there's like one more message. I don't know. I don't know if this is like from him or just in general, but like if people can just kind of embrace like the best version of themselves, no matter what their circumstances are, just know like there's a place for you, like you have a purpose. Like I kind of feel like this message is like partly from him, and just be like reach for the or just enjoy where you're at, like the best version of yourself, and like nurture that moving forward every day. It's like I know I have this like best version of me inside of me, and I'm gonna baby step, like every step forward that I take is towards that instead of just random or feeling lost. Like know that you're loved, spiritually, and that like every step you take towards your beautiful goals, it's like spirit meets you halfway and like brings in the people that can help you along the way, and it's kind of like a fun mysterious adventure. So I feel like he wants to nurture people and towards excellence. Okay, so that's cool. All right, have a good evening, and I'll talk to you guys later.